How often do you pay attention to handicap signs, symbols, or even handicapped people? Ever wonder why there are so many laws and regulations for handicap accessibility? Good afternoon, Dr. Jones, Dr. Cox, and colleagues. Great to see you all here today. I'm Jessica Fleming. I'm here today to persuade you about paying attention to people in wheelchairs. I will discuss a few main points regarding boundaries and limitations with a person in a wheelchair. Never touch a person in a wheelchair without asking permission first. When a person touches, moves, or invades that personal space of a wheelchair-bound person, which is considered the ultimate disrespect by some, that is just a hard no. Dr. Thomas Cox, for example, has been wheelchair-bound for the last 9 years. His stance is always open to questions, but never touch my wheelchair. He goes on to explain that another person should never assume that a wheelchair-bound person wants or needs to be pushed, maneuvered, or assisted without asking first. Imagine having your lower body paralyzed and using a wheelchair to get around. You're already shorter than most people and have a wider piece of equipment that you have to maneuver in crowds. Let's say, for instance, you're in a restaurant. You're wheeling yourself through the crowd to leave. There's a buildup of people slowly trying to make their way out as well. You roll over and sit off to the side and wait for them to thin out. From experience with someone, they know that running over people's feet, elbowing them as they push themselves through crowds, they will hit people by accident. All of a sudden, someone, let's say a staff at the restaurant, see you just sitting and waiting, and they assume you need someone to make way and get you out. They start pushing you towards the exit to help. What would you do? How would you feel? No control, right? Wondering why someone would assume you needed help or needed to be moved. How would you react? Most people do not pay attention or even attempt to put themselves in another person's shoes. I'm asking that you do that. Pay attention. Just paying attention to handicapped parking spaces and locations are very crucial. I interviewed many people who have been wheelchair bound for more than 5 years. Tony was one of these people. He's been in a wheelchair for 15 plus years. A particular thing that he mentioned was people who park too close or illegally park in handicapped parking spots because it's close. Let's imagine you see someone with no tags, no sign pertaining to being a handicapped individual, pull up and park in a handicapped spot, or even park partially in a space. Perhaps the space has extra lines on the right side of the handicapped parking spot. Do you know why that's there? That extra spot for someone that parks in it, even a little bit, is meant for the wheelchair user to unload their equipment safely and out of the traffic. When another person, handicapped or not, parks incorrectly, it could potentially cause a dangerous situation if there aren't any more parking spaces that is specifically designed for their needs. Paying attention to handicapped signs, spaces, and ramps is very important, whether you're handicapped or not. Access ramps to and from places, ramps that are on sidewalks, and many more types of access points that are meant for handicapped people are very important to keep open, clear, and accessible. Every situation is different. Respect boundaries with people. Being informed about everyday obstacles that most don't have to deal with will enlighten you. Recognizing accessibility needs a wheelchair person needs to do every day, things will most likely give you appreciation for what you take for granted. Understanding how not to impede the laws and regulations that is established for handicap accessibility, and learning why accommodations have been made to meet these regulations and laws for handicap. All I'm asking you is to stop, look around, and pay attention to your own actions. You can't always change someone else and how they do things, but you can help someone that is handicapped by being courtesy, being aware, and respecting their boundaries. Thank you.